and I am a part of an amazing community known as Generational Wealth. And we talk about the 5 keys to success, which is spiritual wealth, financial, emotional, financial, and physical. And tonight we want to touch base on the financial part. Last week was absolutely amazing. I know we shared a lot of value last week, so I hope you guys got some value. If you got some value last week, drop some flames in the chat box for me if you got some value last week. Talk about so much. I think I was trying to do a little cram session with y'all last week. But I wanted to make sure we didn't miss any value on today. So I won't keep it for you long because y'all know I got to go to rehearsal tonight. But so we're going to rock and roll. So one of the main things, just a quick overview. Man, we talked about so much last week, budgeting your money and what that looks like, being able to really know your income versus your expense. Okay. So that was the first thing we talked about. What do I make minus my expenses equals, you can use the word, of course, leftover, but disposable income. Okay. But we really want to call it capital, and we use this capital to invest, right? And so I said, you guys want to think of yourself as kind of like Shark Tank. You can use it for MSI, which means multiple streams of income. You can find in different entities, opportunities out there, real estate, trading, cryptos, so many different opportunities where a lot of times when people have businesses and you want to leverage this multiple streams of income, and you want that to really be what we call passive income. Passive income, it requires none of your time, okay, for the most part. And if it does, it's very, very little bit amount of your time. But you're still it's like receiving benefits from the government almost, right? People who are on unemployment, they can get a check every month just sitting at home all day. So you want to think of it as, how do I get a check? By almost not doing anything, right? So you can invest in different people, different opportunities and ventures that's going on. And they'll say, hey, if you help us out, or if you invest with us, we're going to send you $200 a month, $2,000 a month, $20K a month. And just from being at the beginning, or not even necessarily being at the beginning, but being an investor inside this opportunity, help us launch this business, or help us expand our business, or help us expand our portfolio. So you guys want to get into a rabbit hole of doing research of where is some passive streams of income. Now, sometimes when you get on Google, they'll give you like little side hustles and stuff that require you to do some work for extra income, and they call it passive income. But you can think of something like Amazon automation, right? So there are people who will build you an Amazon store, and you pay 5 or 10 grand to have them build your store, but that store is going to pay you out 3, 10, 15 plus K a month residual income, aka passive. All right. So automation. You guys can look at real estate properties where you can invest with people, or you can actually invest with companies, and they will send you a certain percentage every month. All right. So does that make sense, guys? You just want to find opportunities that's going to cut you a check every single month. All right. And sometimes you can be considered a silent investor. Okay. So the key is this is all I'm focused on. Like, my next 5 years is going to be like the biggest financial years of my life, because I'm taking so much of this knowledge that I've learned, and I really, really want to apply it to a level I've never had before. So you can also be considered like a solid investor when you took some of that capital that was left over and you found an opportunity, and that opportunity is paying you. Okay. You also want to focus on not just necessarily having an income. All right. And not just paying things out, but you want to be able to audit your expenses, okay, and see what you can eliminate to increase your capital. Y'all with me? So we talked about eliminating consumer debt, magazine subscriptions. Some of y'all need to take a break from Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Peacock, and so many subscriptions down, right? Eliminate all these, that's consumer debt, or hurry up and pay down some of that debt that you have, so you can increase your capital or your cash flow, and to create passive streams of income. And you want to think long term, right? You don't want to. I'm in a gym pretty much 4 to 5 times a week right now. I have to go tonight. I got to go late tonight because I won't have time before I leave. But I'm waiting to see something. I want to see some results, but I know I want to see some results for like another 30 days, right? In another 4 months and 6 months. It's going to take time. because this is going to be based off of you maintaining the right financial habits. I spoke on last week that money, it's not opportunity that creates wealth. I think people think that's what it is. It's not hitting the lottery that creates wealth. You can become a millionaire. No. You can strike $1 million on the lottery today, but that does not make you a millionaire because your philosophy is still poor. You have $1 million in the bank doesn't make you a millionaire because it depends on where you allocate that money. Are you going to be a good steward over that money, right? I told you guys the last 3 letters of spend is in. So it's not opportunity. It's about philosophy and allocation. Okay, y'all make sure y'all write that down. Am I a spender? Right? Am I a spender? You don't want to be a spender. You want to be a saver and investor. Okay, that's what you want to focus on. You want to allocate your money to opportunities that bring you back more money. Okay. So that was some things that we covered last week. And one more thing before I go into our next topic is you don't want to be just focused on promotions. And, I said 2 things last week. Further education is amazing because I love learning, but make sure when you're doing further education that you don't forget the formula. If you go back to school to get more college debt or whatever, make sure you're going to go to school to get a promotion to get some capital. All right. Does that make sense, guys? Don't just go to school because you want to make more money and increase your lifestyle. We're not increasing lifestyles around here. Okay. We're going to school to get this promotion because they said if you have a certain degree, a lot of times, a lot of jobs do that to people. Well, you got to have an associate's. Well, you got to have a bachelor's. Well, you got to have a doctorate. Well, okay, if you go to school and collect all this debt, make sure when you get the raise is going towards you're raising capital. Right? No pun intended. Once you get the raise, you're raising capital to create more passive income. Does it make sense, family? Yes or no in the chat? Do not increase your lifestyle. Do not increase your liabilities. Do not go buy a new car. Nobody, don't do that. All right. Don't do that right now. The goal is to create this capital. So now when all your streams of income, whether it's your stock portfolio, whether it's your real estate portfolio, cryptos, different businesses that you're invested in, once all of these, let's say you got 3 now, right? You can be staking money in your crypto portfolio. And what that means is basically it's like a savings account, but on the cryptocurrency side of things. So you can have X amount of money in your cryptocurrency account and it's paying you out, 10, 15% per year. You can have somebody paying you $100 a month, whatever those streams are. Once you get these streams bringing in cash flow, okay, you don't increase your lifestyle. You do. You know what to do when you get some more cash flow? You find more opportunities. You want your money to have grandbabies and have grandbabies. In the Bible, God promises Abraham generations of just inheritance for generations to come. Okay, that's what you want to think about. Who's your Abraham and who's Abraham kids and their kids and their kids, right? You want to create so many streams of income. And then if you want the luxury car, the big house, take the money that your money is making for you and buy the liabilities. Does that make sense, family? You don't take your only source of income and go try to raise the roof and blow it out of proportion. You take your income, minus your expenses. You don't take the only capital you have left and go try to meet up with the Joneses, right? Try to keep up with the Joneses. You take that capital, create more cash flow, and that cash flow creates more cash flow, and that cash flow creates cash flow. People hate network marketing, but you want to think of your money as a network marketing diagram. Does that make sense, guys? I love network marketing. Network marketing had completely spoiled me because I learned how to make $5,000 a month residual income. And I was like, this is different. I could travel and do what I want and still clear 5K. All right. So just make sure your money is having more babies. Y'all got it? Got it in the chat box if you got it. Okay. This is where you started. This is your income, your money left after your income. You take that money and you start a new stream. All right. I'm gonna put NS for new stream and new stream and new stream. And these new streams paid us out, created some cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. And we take that cash flow and take what? Create a new stream, new stream, new stream. And then we take that new stream, it should give us some cash flow. Now, not all of it is going to be 100%, not all of it's going to work out. Sometimes you're going to have some things to kind of fall out of place. But ultimately, how many, this is so funny, I'm using this diagram. How many levels deep does your money go? Now that's a marketing conversation, right? How many levels deep does your money go? This is the philosophy you want to have. And once it's deep enough, once your pockets get deep enough, now let's go buy the house and the car and the whatever, travel, all that kind of stuff like that. All right. So it's a little bit of a temporary sacrifice. Now, you don't want to punish yourself. You don't want to miss out on fun and adventure. You still take a little bit of portion of your expenses bracket and you create a little bit of money for leisure. So that way you don't feel like you're missing out on memories because you're so busy trying to create a depth in your generational wealth. All right, this is generational wealth. All right. On the financial side. All right, this is generational wealth. So give yourself a little bit of room in your expenses. Don't get overboard. And if you can make the sacrifice, do it. Maybe you travel every 3 months. Maybe you do it every 4 months. You make sure you put it in there so you don't have the fear of missing out on having fun and leisure. But at the same time, you're creating more capital so that one day you can do whatever it is that you want. Does that make sense, family? All right. So we buy the liabilities after we create a tree of wealth. Okay. So one thing you guys want to be mindful of is let's change this. Is a couple of things that people think about is the 6 things to do with $1. Okay. 6 things to do with $1. I used to remember it by heart. So let's say you got $1 bill. So we got $1. We're going to take 10 cents. Let's just do this for tithes, for my tithers. We're going to take another 10 cents. And I got that somewhere. I want to make sure you guys get this right. Now, you don't have to do it exactly like this, but this is just an idea of how to look at money, okay? To do with $1. Okay, well, let's try to use my memory. Okay, so 10% go towards tithes. Some people call it charity. All right. You take another 10 cents, you pay yourself. Okay. This is with 80%. You'll have tithes, business, taxes, business account, business expense, expenses. So you got 80. Now taxes come off the rip, so I shouldn't even did it $1. I'm sorry, guys. After taxes, you probably got like 80 cents left, right? So really, let's say 80 cents. So let's say 80 cents. And hopefully you can get it lower than that, because if you are an employee, you get taxed the most, by the way. Okay. If you are an employee, you work a job, you get taxed the most. What you want to do is build you an S Corp or LLC and put all your money into that account. Start some kind of business, t-shirt, painting, whatever you can, because the money that you spend in the business is technically money that you can kind of get back. All right. So that's why business owners get taxed the least amount, or what they get taxed the least, because they're not living off the full amount of their net worth. It really is just in their business account, and they're using it as a business expense. And these people are paying themselves a certain income. All right, they got a certain amount of income. They budget themselves into that income report. Okay, so if the business made $500,000, the business owner didn't make $500,000. The business owner probably paid himself $100,000, maybe $50,000. All right. So we'll talk about that next time with LLCs and S Corp. So 80 cents. So now you got 80, 70 left, 60 left, We're gonna take 25%, 60 minus 25, 40. That leaves you with sorry, wrong column. 25% is gonna go towards your lifestyle. All right. What's in my lifestyle? Rent, mortgage, insurance, all that stuff. All right. Now you're down to 45%. I don't know why I'm having such a brain fart. Taxes, self-employed charity. I'm sorry, guys. Entertainment. So I would say business expense, maybe 15%. So it leaves you 30. All right. So as this dollar amount begins to break down, you'll be able to see what you can start reducing, or actually where you may have more network, where you have more money left over. All right. I promise y'all, I'm gonna come back with the right 6 things to do. But just to give you guys an idea. So every time you get $1, okay, taxes come right out, but then let me pay myself first. Most people, okay, this is where most people fail. Most people do this first. They got paid, it's Friday. Okay. Their paycheck, I'm just put 2,000. Their paycheck was $2,000. Y'all drop in the chat box some bills y'all got. What's some bills y'all got? Or just some bills we know that's gonna come out. We got insurance, council, tax, car note, insurance, student loans, credit card. What else? What other kind of the kids? Gas, food, and it's multiple insurances, ain't it? We got renter's insurance, a life insurance, dental insurance. What am I missing? Car insurance. All right. So anyway, y'all get the gist of it. So we make a long list of everything we gotta pay. But the one thing that's missing from this list is you. This is what 95% of people do. They prepare to spend, but never prepare to pay themselves. All right. You don't work a job, y'all, to just spend your money on bills. Because when I travel, my rent still got to be paid. All right. Ties, I'm not going to use that as an expense. I think that's my philosophy on that is a little different. But y'all get it. When you got to leave the house and travel, if you're out of the country for a month, you still got to pay that car note, car insurance, student loan. You still got to pay that rent. You still got to pay that electricity. You still got to pay that gas. All right. So what happens is people plan to give their money away. This is so crazy because everything you're paying, y'all know what I'm about to say. Everything you're paying, these people have created a way to have a passive stream of income. So you are on the other side of money. Instead of you receiving passive income some type of way, you're giving it away passively. Does it make sense? Yes or no? All right. Instead of you receiving passively, you give it away passively. So you got to get on the other side. That's what they call the right side of money. So this is where you gotta seek the knowledge. There's 2 ways to learn, guys. It's the knowledge that you get and the knowledge that you seek. I buy books, I listen to audios, I go to conferences because I'm seeking information. I want to know how this person did it. And the more you seek it, the easier you get. It's just this little change of information that completely would change your life. Right? It don't even be month and major half the time. You're like, dang, that's all I had to do. All right. So how can I go from giving my money away passively to receiving passively? All right. So you need to pay yourself first. This is what you should be doing. None of this gets paid until you pay yourself first. You need to pay yourself at least 10% of your check. Taxes gonna come out. We know taxes and tithes are off the top. We ain't worried about that. After that's done, you need to pay yourself first 10%. And when you pay yourself 10%, you need to allocate it into a savings account. Okay. Or what we call staking in the crypto world, staking or savings account. And when you're saving it, you're going to save to invest. We're going to call it a save to invest account. Okay. We talked about a couple of different savings last week. So if you did this, so if y'all think about your age right now and compare how long you've been working the job. Okay. Now somebody's probably like, I don't have any money left over to pay myself 10%. Then you got to choose your pain. There's something that you can make a modification to. You need to take a step back on some of that consumer debt. You need to cook at home. You need to maybe need to change the payment date on one of your bills. Guys, I'm telling you, you don't, what word am I looking for? You don't, it's not an option, okay? You don't sit there and have a conversation or a debate about not paying yourself. If this is not a priority to you, you're gonna work for the rest of your life. I'm gonna let you know that now you get off the call. If this does not become a massive obsession, just like the government gonna take them taxes off rip, you need to pay yourself, because the whole idea of working a job in which nobody knows is let me pay myself every pay period to build multiple streams of income. So if I think about from the year I started working with 13 years old, 18 years old, man, by the time you even hit 25, 30, you'll be good. Does that make sense, y'all? Now people can actually get a job get a career doing what they love instead of being inside of an obligation. Does that make sense? How would y'all feel if you paid yourself a minimum? Now me, I'm excessive. I go for 40%. 40% or higher. I'm not paying myself. I'm allocating this to a savings to invest account. All right. My lifestyle, remember we said last week, you want your lifestyle to be less than 25% of your expenses. You want to make that a goal. All right. So if your bills are $2,500 a month, you need to be bringing in $10K. So the question isn't, you can't shrink your goals to meet your income. You have to now stretch your thinking. Okay, what do I need to do to first make $5,000 a month? How do I double my income? If you make it a goal, God will make provision. But because it's not a goal, he can never intercede on your behalf. That's why nothing is happening in your life, because you're ready. You prefer to shrink yourself to stay at $24,000, $35,000 a year versus expand yourself, learn a new skill set, do what you got to do temporarily to get to the future. I had a conversation with my best friend. She lives in Florida. And I said, you know what, Liz? I said, the reason I want to be a millionaire is because I want to be prepared when it matters. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I don't care about people knowing my wealth. I don't care about that. I said, when I saw my grandmother in her last days, if we had more money, she'd probably still be around. I said, when I see people struggling because of money, it irritates me because I know what it feels like, but I also chose not to live there. So I said, if something happens in the future, somebody can call me and say, B, can you help us with this? Help us with that. I want to be prepared when it matters. Does that make sense, family? I want to be prepared when it matters. I don't want to be scrambling, trying to get a loan, get more debt, when I could have just followed this philosophy and been prepared. It's so simple. So some of us, I know a lot of us at least 25, 30 years old on the call. Well, the minute you started working at 16, 17 years old, that's a little bit of 10 years. Guys, everybody dies a millionaire. Okay? Everybody dies at some point because they've made at least 25 minimum, 30K a year. What's that, 20 years, 30 years? I forgot how many years it is. But they worked long enough, they would have accumulated $1 million. But the question is, what did they do with the capital? They spent it. They went out to eat. They didn't buy no groceries. They didn't sit there and spend time on having a better philosophy. Right? So we got to start paying ourselves. So y'all drop in the chat box, pay myself. All right? Put pay me in the chat box. Pay me. You got to pay yourself first. So you got to think long and hard. What most people are going to do, they're going to debate. You're going to hear this tonight, and you're going to look up 6 months later, you still never paid yourself. You work a job, you make a living, that's what I call it. You make a living while you build your fortune. Because if you guys would actually imagine if all of us could make a living, somebody actually want to be a doctor because they want to just be a doctor. Somebody wants to just be an architect, a painter, a dancer, a teacher, because they just want to be that. They don't feel some type of obligation or some pressure. They can do it to a point because they've been working on their fortunes for so long. Whatever money they're now getting from the job doesn't affect their lifestyle. They can just keep stacking that up. Imagine if all of us were living fully in our careers that we were truly passionate about and not just working a job just because we're trying to get by, right? You want to make a living to build your fortune and you want to think long term. Okay? This never ends. Your philosophy never ends. Just because you reach 20K in your savings doesn't mean you stop. You keep going. Just because your investments reach 75,000 don't mean you stop. You keep going. This is your lifestyle. This is just like you breathing. You're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Does that make sense? This is what we need to be teaching in school so people can start losing their minds thinking they just stressed out about money. Nobody knows what they should be doing, and that's why everybody's just losing it, right? So, does it make sense, y'all? Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Talk to me. Tell me you with me. Tell me you with me. Okay? I promise I'm going to get them 6 things to get with $1. I can't believe I have a whole brain for it. So, another thing is just side note, just teach your children this stuff now, okay? Teach your kids this stuff now. I'm so excited to teach my nephew all this stuff. I wish I would have known at such an early age, because even if they get a job early, if they get some type of breakthrough at a young age, they know what to do with their capital. All of this is, your philosophy is your identity, guys. So if you have the habit of spending, no matter what we say tonight, you still just want to keep spending, then you've identified with being a poor person, not just in net worth, but in philosophy. You have a poor mentality, okay? But if we teach generations to come this stuff from the get-go, 5 years old, start at 5. Start teaching this philosophy, guys. Man, the whole world, the whole identity of the world is going to change because people can breathe now. They can exhale. They'll feel better, all right? Now, the reason you guys want to leverage a business account is because you get taxed the least. You save more. And you still can pay yourself. So this is the kick. The expenses you have from your business account is a tax write-off. So let's say this. So all the past 3 years, I've traveled. Every time I travel, got on an airplane, the food I bought in the airport, the food I bought hanging out with my success partners, the hotels I've stayed at, the clothes that I purchased, they're all a tax write-off. So what that means is Be Real made $100,000, but she spent $40,000 as a business expense. IRS gonna give me some of this, gonna give me a lot of that back, right? So this was all expenses. I only reported that I paid myself $25,000. All right, that's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money at all. But I paid myself this amount. But my travel, my food, my lifestyle was a business expense. So I get this money back, and ultimately, I don't pay anything in taxes. All right, and if I do, it's very, very little. People who are employed, they get paid tax like 20, 25%, sometimes more than that. This, I probably get taxed like 3%. All right, so I get them back like 3,000. So you got to get them back like 15,000 because you're employed. Because you're reporting everything you got from your job as income. I didn't report everything I got as income. I only reported 25K. All right, so start studying how you can leverage your business. Guys, just think of something. You ain't even got to be out here legit, really just doing something big. Just get your S corp because your taxes are going to be so low. All right, your taxes are going to be so low. All right, so and people will remain ignorant in this space because they are afraid of taxes. Guys, when you understand how it works, you actually laugh at it. You're like, dang, people have conditioned us to be afraid of the IRS, and really they just got to become more competent in understanding how it works. You don't have to go out there and be an expert, but just know the basics. All right. When I play the drums, the gas I use, the repairs on my car, all that kind of stuff. I spent what I made. All right. Debt. So your debt and credit, right? So I told you guys last week, Dave Ramsey, he's an educator. He'll tell you to eliminate all debt, which I am totally in agreement with. And then you also have something called credit. Credit can be bad and good, but it depends on how you use it. Okay. So I worked on my credit last year. Credit is amazing now. And so I get so many offers coming in. And usually when people get offers in the mail, they want to go shopping. I don't get it, but hey, that's okay. They want to go shopping. Remember, that's poor philosophy. When I get offers in the mail, I get happy because I'm like, somebody's paying attention. I'm just kidding. I get happy because I showed that the hard work paid off, but ultimately I have now leverage. The reason I get happy when offers and credit lines come in the mail is not because I want to go shopping. Shopping is the last thing I'm thinking about. Remember, shopping is poor. Shopping is spending. One question you want to ask yourself is every time when you swipe your card and you spend this money, will it bring me back some more money in the next 2 to 5 years? That's all I ask myself. If I make this purchase, is it going to make me more money? Write that one down. If I make this purchase, will it make me more money? And the more you ask yourself that, the more you're going to realize how much you're actually spending, right? So but I get excited now because I have more leverage. So what this says is, American Express will say, hey, Burrell, we'll give you a credit card for $20,000. Now, somebody else sees that, they're like, holy crap, we about to go on a trip. We about to do this. We about to do that. I'm about to go Christmas shopping. I'm about to do some birthday shopping. Bump your birthday. Check this out. $20,000 of opportunity. Now, the key is I don't use the whole $20,000. I keep it below 30% utilization. So credit card companies want to make sure you don't blow out all the money on the credit card. That's what they really want to see. They want to see if you're a good steward. So really, I really have $6,000 of leverage, because if my balance exceeds $6,000, the credit agency is going to see me as a bad. The credit report is going to notify. Excuse me, guys. I get a credit card for $20K. But the rule of thumb is you want to keep it below 30%. And if you're really good at it, you really want to keep it under 3%. Okay. 30 is the highest, but the best is between 1 and 3%. So really we'll say about one, hold on, I'm tripping. 20K. Oh yeah, so $1 to $300. So $1 to $300 is the most healthiest state, 1 to 3% of the card balance. But just for some temporary leverage, we're not going to go past $6,000. So what are we going to do with this $6K? We find something. We find somewhere where we can create some multiple streams of income. We see streams of income start paying us, and NS, new stream, and it creates a cash flow. We take that cash flow and we create another new stream, and we take a little bit of it and start paying out that credit card again. All right. And you rinse and repeat. So you leverage your credit to create multiple streams of income, and you just temporarily end debt. This is what they call good debt. You can temporarily end debt. Now, depending on the opportunity, you may have somebody to pay to go out there and get this $20,000 card and max out the whole $20,000. But the key to credit, guys, is, shout out to Ms. Nicole, is that you pay off if you're going to max out the card, at least get the card down to 30% before the end of the billing statement, not the due date. All right. So for instance, my billing cycle is the 27th. We're going to say the 27th to the 27th. All right. So what's the day, y'all? Today is the 24th. So let's say I go and max out the whole card right now. Today's the 24th. I max out the whole $20,000. Okay. As long as I bring that $20,000 down to $6,000 by midnight in 3 days, it will still keep my credit in good standing. My due date, though, ain't till March 21st. Okay. That's the due date. That's that minimum payment. We ain't bump the minimum payment. I don't even pay that no mind. I only focus on the billing cycle, the usage cycle. You pay it before the end of the usage cycle, bring it down, and as soon as midnight hit, I max it out again, right? All right. As soon as they report it to the credit agency, she got it back down to $6K. I see it on my FICO score. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go max it out again, and I'm gonna max it out I'm gonna bring it back down to 30% below before March 27th. All right, does that make sense, y'all? I hope I ain't confused nobody. Okay. Credit is to be used as leverage. Again, most people miss this. They use it for liabilities. Okay. You don't go buy dumb stuff until you got multiple streams of income. All right. So you teach your children this. People want to be seen. People want luxurious items. People want name brands. What is the sorriest thing that can happen for most of us is that we got $500 shoes on, but we don't have $500 in our savings. We don't have $500 passive income. We don't have $500 net worth. All right. Does that make sense, y'all? Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't allow people, don't feel that pressure of trying to look like you got money and you're broke. All right. We care less about that. So, and then of course you can leverage those streams to pay down any debt you may have. Don't stress about student loan debt. I mean, of course, the sooner the better, but any credit card debt you want to get rid of ASAP. Call these agencies and start working out plans, payment plans. Start with your biggest debt and start working it down. Okay. And I think I spoke on this last week. You don't want to be stuck having high income and you have a low net worth. Okay. Don't think you're too old. I'm 55 years old. It's too late for me now. What are you saying? It's a lady at my church. She's 105. She rides a bike every day and still drives. High income, low net worth. We don't want this. Okay. If we have high income, I just marked up my part. If we have high income, well, it got necessarily be high, but if we got income, we figure out how to mitigate, how to eliminate unnecessary expenses, and we live a frugal life. Live a frugal life. I'm about to live a frugal life for 5 years, minimum. Frugal life. And we take that extra income, that extra capital, and we keep creating passive income, multiple streams of income, finding investments, building up our stock portfolio, building up our crypto savings, building up our crypto savings account. We just keep allocating. Do y'all believe if you paid yourself a minimum of 10% in the next 12 months, you'll be so happy? It may be just $500, it may be $1,000, it may be 10 grand, but it's something you didn't have before. By making one change in your financial behavior, right? Would that make y'all feel good? Yes or no? It made me feel good. Mine got up to 5 figures. I said, oh my goodness, I'm about to start saving more. It actually starts to become a little bit more addictive because now you can feel the weight is going. Like, listen, my Chase account, my Chase account is always a zero balance, but my investment in cryptos always 5 figures plus. So I can care less what my Chase say because the bank don't do nothing for me anyway. But get on my nerve. All right. So you want to take this income, and over time, just keep building out income. Find streams, have conversations with people, get in rooms with people that have more than you. Figure out what they're doing. You'll be surprised. You hit one little nugget. You're like, oh man, that's all I got to do that. And so what happens is now you have, no matter what level of income you have, you now have a high net worth. We look up 5 to 10 years from now from this conversation. And now you may have now don't confuse income. So let's say business owners. Some business owners, they may clear $300K in revenue, but they only pay themselves $50K out of that revenue, right? Out of the $50K, we'll say $100K. They pay themselves $100K out of the revenue. That's kind of high, but anyway, they pay themselves $100K, but they took 50% of it and put it into their net worth. Right, so they only make $50K a year, but now their first year they were $50K. The second year, year 2, they still keep their lifestyle at $50K, and they keep allocating it to their net worth. So year 2, now they got $100K. So now their net worth is more than their income. Third year, they still pay themselves $50K. Maybe they gave themselves a pay raise, maybe they increase whatever, but at least now this is worth $150K. Whatever it is, this didn't change. This changed, and this is where you start to have freedom, because it's your money now, and at any given moment you can cash out some of your assets, right? If you just needed to liquidate something, maybe your figures aren't that high. maybe you only make 30,000, 35,000 a year. All right. If you make 35, you got to see how much your expenses are. If you make 35K a year, I'm just using this base number. It's like the lowest for America. You make 35K. What's your expenses? What's your rent? Right? 12K. I don't know. My rent is 2,000, so I don't know. That wouldn't. 24K. I'm already out of the loop. All right. So, let me see something. 3,500 times 12. Yeah, my lifestyle is more than this. So let's kind of change it. So let's do somebody that makes 60K a year. Okay, how much of that is your expenses? Okay, how much is that going towards your expenses? So if your expenses, I'm talking about leisure, gas, food, if your expenses are $3,500 a month, over 12 months, that leaves you spent $42,000 a year. So that leaves you with $18,000 of capital. Now that's you being completely disciplined. Now you got 18,000. Where did the $18,000 go? This is most people. Most of it went to food, just mindlessly spending. You go like, man, I spent 18 grand and nothing last year. This is most people. They don't know what they spend each month. They don't know their budget. They don't know nothing. And so they just keep mindlessly living. They're angry and upset. They don't never have any money. They never paused, broke down the budget, made the sacrifices, made the changes. This is what we're going to stick to. You need to speak to the spouse, the children. Listen, you're not eating out. We'll eat out on every fourth Saturday. That's it. And then they angry about it, tell me to go get a job. All right. So you find that leisure. But then over the course of these 12 months, you also have to figure out what those birthday parties are, what those weddings are. You got to make a budget for that stuff, right? Are you going to go or are you not? Are you going to send a gift or are you not? You got to know ahead of time. Millionaires know this stuff on a yearly basis. They know, oh, I already know I'm only spending 60. I already know I'm only spending 42,000 next year. They already know that I'm only spending 42K next year. Probably make about 150,000. So that leaves me with what? 150 minus 42. Wow, I'm having a whole brain for it. What, 90, 150,000 minus 1. Just give you guys how people think. Yeah, 108,000. So I got 100. I know I'm gonna have about $108,000 left over next year. I'm gonna put the whole at least 100,000 into my net worth. I'm gonna allocate it somewhere. So you have to know your expense. So it doesn't matter what you make, guys. You can make 25K. You figure out how to if you make 30,000 and your expenses are 40,000. I don't even know how you making that happen without borrowing money or having some loans or having a second job. Get a second job temporarily. Your regular job only brings in 35K. You might get a part-time job that only brings in extra amount each month, but at least it's something you can start using as capital. You just got to choose your pain and how long you're gonna have it. All right, you can have the pain for the rest of your life or not. Now, a lot of people want to get into trading and all the other kind of stuff. Trading is not a quick flip. I got somebody right now that want to flip some money. I don't have that opportunity. All right. Trading is still compounding, saving, passive, the capital you're taking out of your income. It's all the power of compounding. You take a certain percentage and you put it somewhere. You take that percentage and you put it somewhere. If we look at, 6 months, in the next 6 months, if you take 10% out of each check and pay yourself, you now have 60% of some money you can allocate somewhere. And this 60% you put into a vehicle that'll pay you out 15% per year, right? The key is just percentages, but all of it is a snowball effect. It's compounding. So when people want to get into trading isn't you put $1 in a trade and it flips to $50, or you put a $10. I had a $5,000 day. Okay, if you didn't have a $5,000 day, all right? You take that $5,000 and you make a withdrawal and you allocate it. People see 5,000, 10, 20, 30,000, they get excited. No, you got to go build your net worth. You don't trade. Well, this is my philosophy. You can do whatever you want. But in my philosophy is I compound my money. When I make these withdrawals, they go into some type of moving vehicle. right? You have a $10,000 day, people make a withdrawal, they go spend it. You still stuck on the left side of money, you're still stuck on a poor man's lifestyle. If you have a $10,000 day, you take it out and you go allocate it to real estate, you allocate it to your crypto portfolio, and you do this for a consecutive amount of years. And when you look up, man, I got $40,000 in net worth, I got $50,000 net worth, I got $100,000 net worth, I got $125,000 net worth. That's what's exciting. So get obsessed with that. Net worth. This is my obsession. This is my favorite word now. This is my net worth. I don't care about how much you make. It's about where you're allocating it and what you're building. This is generational wealth. So your children don't have to wait around for a life insurance policy. We should not be glorifying your death for payout. Okay? We should be glorifying habits, philosophy, so that they can carry this on, that they can sustain it. All right? And because if you got a term policy anyway, you don't get paid if the term, I don't know where this came from, you may have a 50-year policy. You got the policy when you was 15, 50 years later, you're 65, you're healthy, this policy expires, and you pay all this money every year for 50 years, and once it's done, it expires. You don't get any money for it. Now you got to buy a new policy, and it's higher, and you just hoping that it sticks around, right? Cool, you can have a policy. You don't even need a life insurance. Guys, it don't cost like $10,000 to bury somebody. All right, and I don't know where it's coming from, but if you had a net worth, you could just minus 10K instead of paying somebody passively. Doesn't make sense. Please tell me y'all getting it. You pay these folks $50 a month, or you could have just paid yourself $50 a month and cashed out. All right, don't get me wrong. You can still have one. They nice when they pay out. All right, but we don't want to wait. I'm just getting a life insurance policy and not work on building a net worth. No, that'll just make that make that just some extra stuff you got. It's just something extra, right? But ultimately, what are we passing down? Habits, mindset, philosophy. It's not just financial, guys. It's mindset, resources, thinking. That's what we want to pass down. All right. Now I'm curious. 50 years times 50, 600. 50 years times 12 months is 12 months times 50 years. Wow. Guess how much it is? If you had a life insurance policy for 50 years paying $50 a month, that's $30,000. You get a life insurance company $30,000. Wow. I got a policy. I pay $28 a month. All right. But if you don't have a net worth right now, make sure you still have a policy in place. All right. There's nothing wrong with having a policy. I'm just making sure you guys know, let's not just wait for somebody's transition for us to feel like we're going to have a payout. That feels horrible. All right. If it happens, it happens, but really focus on building a net worth. All right. So, but that's it, guys. Like I said, when it comes to even trading, people want to get into trading because they see how quickly you can flip money. That's not what it's about. You take these portfolios and you compound over time. All right. I got to build me out a 2-year plan on Monday because I'm busy this weekend. But I'm building out a 2-year plan. I'm revising my plan. We're going to do, I think I'm going to change. I was doing 2%, so I think I might go, anyway, like 1 or 2%. And I'm not going to touch, my goal is to not touch it because even though I want to make the withdrawals to create this passive, y'all see this thing on here? I've had this up here for a while. It says 7-figure trader. I really want to hit this. So take a certain percentage. This is the daily compound. This is my target profit daily. And then if I grow the account, I will, but a minimum of 8 to 10% per week. I'll only take a certain percentage. So let's say I hit 8% that week. I'll withdraw 2% and allocate it somewhere, right? Or whatever, you can split it 50-50. So you basically have to do the term of the plan may double because if you're pulling out the profits to allocate them to passive streams of income, then this plan gets longer. But you have a compound plan, reaching for an overall target goal. Don't worry about date. You just focus on percentages. Trading is percentages, not pips. We can get confused with pips. not pips, it's percentages. I'm going into a trade trainer and do that. 2% compounding, and then whatever you got at the end of the week, like that, I think it said 5,800 there, something like that. Take out half of it, put that capital somewhere for MSF for multiple streams of income, and leave the rest of the capital to reinvest to hit the 7-figure target. All right, so you're just splitting. Half of it goes to MS, half of it goes to a new stream, and the other half is used for reinvesting into the trading account so you can hit the bigger goal, right? So you still want to take some out because you want to feel your profits. You want to see your profits. You want to reward yourself. And don't forget, despite all the discipline we have to have, don't forget to still reward yourself. All right, celebrate every milestone. If you save $100 this month into your savings and you've never done it before, celebrate that milestone. All right, take $5. Don't do nothing crazy. All right, take a little bit. Go do something just do something to celebrate. Okay, but celebrate every milestone, guys. It's gonna be worth it. We're here. We're healthy. We're strong, and God is amazing. Did y'all get some value on tonight? I got 2 book recommendations, which I cannot believe I forgot to say them. These are actually the top 2 books. Actually, I didn't even say Science of Getting Rich and The Richest Man in Babylon. See if I got them over here. Science of Getting Rich and The Richest Man. Here it is. Doesn't matter the version really, but his name is George Clason. Richest Man in Babylon. This is going to give you those rules. It's going to give you some different rules on what to do with your money, but this right here changed my life. I recommend every human being read this book. So The Richest Man in Babylon. Now it's going to be, the way they talk is going to be in more of the historical terms. All right. So the 6 things they say is start fattening your purse. It's going to be thy, thou. It's going to be that type of talk. All right. So start fattening your purse. So that means start paying yourself. Control where you allocate your money to. Okay. Make thy goal multiply, which means take your money and let it make more money. All right. You got some profits from your first gig. Don't go spend it. Don't go change your lifestyle. Take those profits and start a new business. All right, start a new stream. Take those profits. Remember, we had a generational wealth tree of new stream cash flow. All right. So make your money multiply. Guard your treasure from loss. Buying a home. Life insurance is fine. Just don't forget also building a net worth. All right. Protecting your household. Get a will. Get the power of attorney. Get your will notarized. Make sure you have it allocated or delegated on the will. Who's going to get the funds? Where's the money going? Who has control over those assets? Make a profitable investment. Ensure the future of your income and increase your ability to earn. All right. But read this book, man. This is the best book I've ever read, man. So amazing. And it's a lot of storytelling, but it's about finance. And then the other one was The Science of Getting Rich. If I'm not mistaken, I left my book on Delta's plane. I left it in London, not there with Pat. I was headed to London, and I left it in Delta One. 2 books actually, so I need to order that one again. But it's the book's about this big. It's a very short read. Okay, The Science of Getting Rich. So The Richest Man of Babylon by George Clason. Clason. And The Science of Getting Rich is by Wallace D. Wattles. All right. George Clason, Wallace D. Wattles. And George Clason. I would definitely start with these 2 books if you want to change your philosophy on money first. These 2, then the other ones later. Do these first. All right. Wallace Wattles and George Clason. And let's get it, guys. I'm excited. God is so amazing. So many miraculous things are happening. And just work overtime. All right. Don't feel no shame in what you got to do. Just do what you got to do. All right. Until you do what you want to do. All right. Do what you got to do. Do what you don't feel like doing until you can do what you want to do. All right. That thing is a good way to put it too. All right. I love you guys. I see y'all. Maybe we'll do one next week. I'll see. I have a big training this weekend, so we'll see how I feel. But I love y'all. Have a blessed night. I'm headed to choir rehearsal, and I'll see y'all in the chat. All right. Do me a favor. I'm sorry. Do me a favor. Go to the generational wealth chat and say whatever you want to say. Tell them they missed the call, value overload, and I'll drop the playback later on tonight. All right. Y'all have a good night.